Hey guys, how's it going? Just working today. But I am listening to an audiobook. No, I am not. This is like my second thing on this channel. I'm not being sponsored by anybody, and I don't know if I ever even will. I'm not really doing this for monetization. I'm doing it because, fuck, it's fun. And I like talking to people. So, at work, in the absence of people to talk to, I'll talk to you guys. I'll probably even talk to you when I'm not at work. But the audiobook I've been listening to is The Age of Reason by Thomas Paine. And this guy is, I'm going to disagree with some of his points, but I'm going to give him kind of a concession considering the time he was alive. At that time, his belief systems kind of were considered pretty much new age. In our time, I'm not sure where he would stand, but his book is fantastic. It is a truly fantastic fucking book. And I highly recommend it to anybody who really wants to understand the thought processes of some of our founding fathers for the country. And he was ahead of his time, in my personal opinion, a fantastic author, very much so. And but yeah, I mean, I don't know what else really to say about it. I'm kind of at a loss for words at this moment. I basically said everything I wanted to. It's a really fantastic book. It's a very good read. It's interesting to listen to from a historical point of view, and even an informational one. His beliefs regarding education, and I have a lot of respect for his beliefs regarding education, and I think he hit the nail on the head. And that our education, it was, even back then, was lackluster, even by today's comparisons, because they're doing the same thing today they did in Thomas Paine's day. They sit them in a classroom and preach to them this nonsense or whatever, or try to teach. And I'm not dogging on teachers. I'm sure there's a lot of teachers out there who think that the school system should change too. And Thomas Paine's point was the one point that I have a lot of respect for, and I've heard said time and again, is that we kind of beat the genius and the creativity out of children with our educational system. And that's actually, I think, pretty true. Instead of allowing a child to have like wanderlust and look at the world through a curious perspective or worldview, we narrow it down in our school systems and our based on our education. And I think that's a horrible thing. I mean, you watch a kid with a set of linking logs, and they're going to sit there and they're going to build you amazing things, and then they're going to, and Thomas Paine explained it, in this way that, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, not in his exact words, but you'll see a child build something, and then you'll see a child care for that something. And children always ask the most wondrous questions, but when you get them into public school systems, or honestly any school system at this point, you shrink down and you narrow that curiosity, you shrink down and you narrow out that creativity. And I hate to see it happen to kids. I even hate the fact that it happened to me. I think education is something a lot like medicine. Okay, for instance, the reason medicine is not an exact science is because they'll find 100 cases of the exact same kind of cancer. They'll treat them They'll break them into groups, treat them in various ways. And of those groups, one treatment will work the absolute best. It'll save, okay, so if they had 100 people and they broke them down into groups of 10, they had 10 groups. One group, say 7 people survive in that one group. Well, then I imagine that's how it happens. They're always looking for the best case scenario, where if money wasn't really an issue, they would be able to treat you. Your cancer is going to be your cancer. It's going to be down to your genetic code. So it's going to be specifically you. And so there should be a specific treatment designed for you at your genetic level, based on your genetics. And so I think that's how medicine should be, is that everybody's treated as the individual. We're not treated as we are in groups. They give a blanket treatment, and that only cures some people. And that's, it's better than curing no people at all. But at the same time, I know for a fact that we can do better as human beings. And I mean the same thing in regards to education. I think education should be the same. I mean, no two kids are going to learn exactly alike. And to blanket everybody, to just generalize the entire system so that all children get the exact same education, I mean, to me, that kind of destroys the curiosity. I think it really does. I mean, one kid's going to just excel in history. Another kid's going to excel in literature. Another kid's going to excel in science. Another kid's going to excel in mathematics. Some kid he's going to suck at all of them, and he's going to excel in wood shop class. Or he'll excel in art, where he blows ass at everything else. And that's okay. Everybody has strengths, everybody has weaknesses, and I think we would have a much happier culture if we capitalize on each other's strengths rather than, trying to spend most of our time. Yes, absolutely, there should be some level of work on your weaknesses. I mean, absolutely, no doubt. There should always be, there's a saying, if you spend a day not learning something, you've wasted the day. Or if you spend the day not achieving something, you've wasted the day. Well, if you have a weakness and you spend a small portion of every day working on that weakness, eventually it'll become something, similar to your strength. But if you master your strengths, I think that makes you more productive. If you master something you're really good at, it's something you're probably going to love doing, something you're probably going to have a lot of interest in doing. And I think that's where we should focus education, is to those areas. And so I think Thomas Paine was kind of hinting at that in the one chapter I listened to. And I think that's important. But I highly recommend the book by Thomas Paine. The Age of Reason, Thomas Paine. Good book. Thumbs up. Talk to you guys later.